Well, I come to straight away image processing. There is another application of Matplotlib, and for the people, our friends who are using Jupyter Notebook, I can just tell you this Jupyter Notebook is very fancy. You can do lots of things. Like you see this image processing, this writing. I have written two colors. You see, if I show you, it will be, you see, this is right. This is the image. I can show you. This is the word image. I can show you. See, if you can recognize, this is actually HTML code. So I write this bracket, font, color. I can give the font also, color, red, image. So image color will be red, and the is begin font and end font. This is the style of HTML code, HTML language, okay, hypertext machine language through which people write web pages. Okay, and then the next part is again font, and you see that you see that yeah, and the processing and the processing and the processing is a green, and the font ends here. So that way you can actually write colorful things with HTML. You can write this one hash is the next one, the biggest. If you put 2 hash, it will be one smaller. It will be put 3 hash. You can put 4 hash. You can etc. etc. The size of the letters will be smaller, smaller, and smaller. You can actually put or place here all the LaTeX commands, all the Greek symbols, all the mathematics here. Entire LaTeX mathematics machinery can be written here, and you write anything here, and you don't want to execute that. That means it is not your interactive shell. You go to here, and this is not code, this is markdown, and you run, so this will come. The next come here, and you go to it is code. You see it is code, and you then run here, and this runs. So this way the shells work. So let us talk about image processing. Image processing is nothing but you take an image or create an image, and you read that image as a file, and the file becomes ultimately a NumPy array. That's it. In Python, it is fantastic. And once you have NumPy array, you know from the lectures of ADG that NumPy array is so much useful. You can do, if you learn at least a bit of it, at least the index, how you slice, and how you apply certain methods over it. Then once the data is on the image is at your hand, is like a data, some numbers, you can control them anyway, and you can do lots of things. Okay, so that's what image processing is to me, and I'm also new in this, but I find it is very fascinating. Okay, so here I think the font sizes are okay. You can read that. So first I write matplotlib under this percentage. That means it will create the another window, and I have to import numpy as np. I have to import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and fortunately I don't have to import any other package. But inside this matplotlib, under this there is the image gallery. That means image module, and from that you just import this mp img. Okay, matplotlib image mp img. Okay, so now you can just run this. It ran because you see the number 1 came here. So the first thing, and it is saying this, the window will be created at the back end, in the behind. So now you can check mp img. Inside that there is imread. Okay, so you can think of this as a sub module or a class, or you can, this under this mp img there is imread, image read basically. So image read is basically a function. So image read is basically a function. So you check the help. So inside that you can see lots of things, but you can only consider this portion up until now. Okay, now you can consider this portion. So see, for grayscale image, it is an M by N array. For RGB image, you know, all the colors can be created by red, green, and blue, these three fundamental colors. And it will be an M by N by 3 array. That means you have done up to 2-dimensional array. You just increase another axis. You cannot check on your computer, but you know through the axis X, Y, Z direction. So there is another axis. So it is 3. Okay. So basically 3 for 3 colors. And then there is another kind of image. So it is called RGBA. A is for alpha. Just now we used alpha. Alpha gives you the transparency or opaqueness. Okay. So it is MN4. So it will be M by N by 4 image. So these 3 kinds of images you can deal with. Okay. Let's see. Go back, reduce. Well, now I have a file in this. This is the full path name, and this is the name of the image, and it is a PNG image. I thought initially that PNG image will read, because this Matplotlib's IMRead is expert in reading this. But
is this Kishore's famous leopard or something else?
Yes. you broke the surprise.
You are going to sort of shoot it out here.
So it is the leopard image, and you see where it comes. You see where it comes. No, it is not. Oh, it is. I'll see it. Okay, I have not seen it. I've just read it. Okay, I just ran it and just read it, and you see what is IMG. I created a variable, and the variable is IMG. And you now first you check what is IMG. This is the first principle. Whatever we do in Python, if you have a doubt, you just type, put inside the type function and see what it is. Run, and you see this is a NumPy array. So this is fantastic. You got an image, and you convert it as a NumPy array. That's it. Once you have a NumPy array at your hand, you can do anything. So because the numbers at your hand, you can by hand you can insert manipulate some data. You can distort the image. You can make it better, whatever. Okay. So yes, this is NumPy array, and you can check the shape also. IMG is a NumPy array, so this attribute will work. Shape. So shape is basically what Kishore Babu has sent me the file. This is 222267 by 1511 pixels, and the 3 also comes. So you saw it, MN by 3 for 3 colors, RGB. So basically a 3-dimensional array, 3-dimensional NumPy array. No problem. We have dealt with so far 2-dimensional array. 3-dimensional array will be analogous. So we call it the axis. When you have 2-dimensional array, you go down like y-axis, like row by row. It is the 0 axis. You go column by column, it is towards right, say on a table, it is 1 axis, and you go perpendicular to the screen, and that is z-axis, means that is axis number 2. So axis number 0, axis number 1, and axis number 2. That way you refer the axis, and you can extract data out of this, which data in which axis, etc., etc. So well. So I create now plt.figure. I give the figure size 10, 12 as usual. And this is the function IMShow. IMShow is the another function. I do not know how I can color it and can show it the function's name. Otherwise, it will be these things that will be quite quickly, it can catch your eye. But IMShow is another function. See, here is one function, IMRead. Remember this, IMRead is image read, and IMShow is like Matplotlib show. It is plot.plt.show. It is like IMShow, image show. And inside that, you write the full image. Image is IMG. IMG is the name of the image, the data. And I intentionally wrote this. You need not write this. That means because it has 3 axes. So 1 colon gives manipulates the one set of 2-dimensional array. Next colon for next set of two-dimensional array, and this is for 3, and 3 for 3 these things, these 3 RGB, R, G, and V. So this controls these image. I mean, I take here everything. So that I write just to show you this. And we also plot a color bar. There is another, this is common in Matplotlib, plt.color bar. So this is you by side you can also plot a color bar. And this is not necessary plt.show, but I write it because to avoid these comments, the text it shows. Okay, now you run. Okay, it is probably here. So here is the leopard, and you see it is now the leopard is now confined in this graph, and this is the color bar. You see the colors are coded from 0 to 1, and which color is how what is the number of these colors. You see the yellow. If you want to reduce the color yellow, you want to make the leopard say black or something, you want these yellow instead of 1, you can put them 0 or something like that. So the yellow will go down, etc., etc. So this is something now at your hand. Normally, Kishore Babu knows, and I know that we manipulate our camera photos, the images from our camera with the softwares, and lots of different kinds of softwares, Photoshop, ACDC, and other Lightroom, etc., etc. These things basically do this. They basically manipulate the data. But if we can handle this with Python, we can actually have control over the data. We can piece by piece, point by point, we can actually manipulate the data. So this is something. Well, this is now slicing, what ADG has taught you.
Just before you go through the whole thing.
Okay. Tell me.
Let me just point out one thing. This colon thing that you had, that was not red, green, blue. That was just
three dimensions. Actually 3 dimensions. Yeah, actually 3 dimensions.
All of the
three directions. Right. I mean, sorry. 3 axes. 0, 1, 2. 3 axes actually.
So that's going to be important for the next one. That
yeah. This is for the 3 axes. Yeah. So anyway, because this is 1 axis. I mean, this you can see these 3 elements means 3 axes.
Vijay, we can clearly demonstrate that instead of the third colon, you put just 0. Then we will see the array.
I'll show. Wait, hold on. I'll show. I'm here to manipulate things. Okay, now you can actually crop the image. So to crop the image, you can actually from some axis you take not all the data. You saw the data is here. Number is the pixels are 2267. Here in the other direction is 1511, etc. So in these axis, only for 0th axis, you take data from 500 to say 2000. And the other axis, you take data from 200 to 1400, etc. And the third axis, you keep it like that. So this is basically NumPy slicing. And you do on what? You do on image, right? So now you run. You see the image is cropped. So this is basically cropping. You just actually reduce this space. I mean, the entire background you removed. So this is your cropping. So well, now you can actually, I mean, we in our camera itself and through Photoshop, we see the histogram, which colors contribution is what, and etc., etc. So color range is here from 0 to 1. We can deal with it. And so image, there is a function called ravel. So image dot ravel, I didn't put anything. And the bins are, I kept 256 because actually the bytes are basically the single this pixel takes over. I mean, this one byte means 2 to the power. The possibilities are 2 to the power 8. That means 256. Okay, numbers. So basically 0 to 255 is the range. So basically you write bins equal to 256. You can write anything, 10, 20, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. So and then plot show. So we can now see the histogram also. Okay. And we can know the, I mean, which portion of histogram we'll keep. Data is at our hand, which we'll remove, and how you can, I mean, better how the way, what is the way we can do something, better, do better, and so on. We can do check.
I didn't understand one question. The pixel values were within 0 to 256. Now they are converted to 0 to 1 for this histogram.
Yes, yes. No. This is already, I mean, the numbers are automatically converted into 0, 1.
Usually they are in the 0 to 256 range.
Yes, but they are actually I mean, what should I say? Rescaled into 0 to 1. Rescaled to 0 to from 0 to 1, right? So all the images, if you see, I'll show you one NumPy array. So all the data points are basically values are from 0 to 1. So they don't actually write 0 to 255 numbers. They actually write all the numbers between 0 to 1. They actually convert it. Okay, so that's it. Well, here probably this would not. This is not necessary. I think automatically it is 0 to 1. But is the range of the, this is for the range of the histogram. This is not the pixels. Okay, so you can now control your histogram part. And now this is more manipulation. This is your image, and you keep the first axis, 0th axis, entire 0th axis. You keep the another axis, and the other axis you take only one, or I mean the only 0th thing. Okay, so you check that. So you yeah,
the red channel.
Yeah, red. 0 is the red, then is the green, 1 is the green, and then the 2 is the blue. If you just keep it, keep the red channel, better to refer it channel itself. And we call this image underscore part, and you see this this is the NumPy array, and you see the numbers are from between 0 and 1, all between 0 and 1. Okay, and so the data type is basically uint8, unsigned integer 8, because there is no negative sign here. Okay, so and the you see here, because it is, I have taken the one channel only, and this, so data is, you can understand, so it is 2 square bracket here. That means it is a 2D array. So now I have more control over it. So it's a 2D array. So I converted 2D array, and even if I write image this part, and this image part is this, already this 2D array, and of it I write 0th index. That means it is again take the first row. So if I now run this, it is the first row. This is 1D array, and you see now here the data type is float. Of course, it is float, not UNIT. UNIT is I mean something else. Okay, this is float 32, right? Okay, so this image part, and you now take the shape. Of course, the 1511 comma this tuple, because the original data was here 2267 comma 1511 comma 3. This was the shape, and now I can take only this part. Okay, so I can also write say image part dot shape. So I can copy it. I can assign it this shape, and I check what is the shape. Shape is this. So part of this image, the 2-dimensional array. Okay. Now I do one thing. I do create the one colored image. So I write np.image something to begin with. I write np.zeros, and inside that I write the shape. Shape is this tuple. So it will create a 2D array of all zeros, right? It will create a 2D array that is of all zeros. Then I write this for loop for x in range this s of 0. S of 0 means 2267, and s of 1 means 1511. Basically 2 loops, I and j, basically x and y. So I write if image underscore part xy is greater than or equal to 0.5, and then I call it I save it in image underscore bw x comma y. I call it say 1. I actually replace all the numbers by 0 and 1. Greater than 0.5 is 1, less than 0.5 is 0. So this is I want to convert. I want to actually convert this entire NumPy array into zeros and ones. Let's see what happens. So I create this. I could do it even in a better way, in Pythonic way. But okay. But this is for the time being. And now I run this. Oh, no. First I run this. I first run this. Oh, it is not showing what is X in. Oh, I mean shape. I call it shape.
Ace is not defined.
Yeah. I called their ace. I called their shape. Right. I call it shape. Yes. Sometimes I used to this. Okay. Ace this and this I run. Okay. And now I see the image. Probably so this is something image. Kishore will not like it, but it is with two colors. I was trying to make it complete black and white. That time I was running out of time. I could not do that. I was just doing it before the lecture. So I think we can do it complete black and white, and then we can.
Whites are replaced by yellow.
Whites are
replaced by yellow, isn't it?
Yes. Whites are replaced by yellow, exactly. And the black is also not black. It is some other color, some close to some violet or something. Okay, but it is a basically a monochrome kind of picture. But we want to create something production quality black and white image, so that photographers like Kishore can accept this. Otherwise, they will throw us away. What is this nonsense we are doing? But I wanted to play with these things, and it's very, kind of fascinating things. Anyway, okay. So you have seen my quote unquote black and white image. The next part I want to show. I was trying to create a real black and white image, but I won't do this now. I will for some time later I can show. I want to create a fake image with random number. See, in the leopard picture, my pixels by the size of the NumPy array is this 2267 by 111511 by 3, and the entire thing is in a tuple. I create a random number np.random.uniform, and the numbers are between 0 and 1. We have seen this in this NumPy array. All these numbers are between 0 and 1. Like a child, I can, if I want to play, okay, I will put my own numbers instead of Kishore's leopard's numbers. I can put my own number between 0 and 1, but randomly. So this is, I discovered myself something very silly, but I found it is interesting. Anyway, so this is the uniform random number generator, which will create random numbers between 0 and 1. And it will create an array of three-dimensional array of this size, exactly the size of Kishore's leopard picture. Okay. So, and I call this image is a fake image underscore fake, and I want to plot this plt.im show image underscore fake and show. Okay, let's see what happens. Run. Okay, here is the leopard gone. And since I have created this through random numbers, nothing is there. All the colors are there, but they are uniformly mixed. So that gave me the idea that actually any kind of random number we can test with this color map. So that is one question that day our friend Atish was asking, and I think we can now show it pictorially. That this image can be a testimony of our random numbers. Okay, this is quite common, quite trivial probably, but I have never seen that before. Okay, anyway, so I began to explore the random number. So now you see I have created another set of random numbers. Say for example, random.random. That also creates random number between 0 to 1, and I create a 2D array only. 1000 by 1000, just to check this random number, and I call this random underscore image, and these I want to plot this IMS show random underscore image and the color bar and show. Let's see what happens. Okay, remember this picture. This is a very good uniform mixture of all the colors, and the color bar is here, and the color bar you can choose. Actually, this is made over on this from 0 to this one on the. They chose this color. You can actually, going to color bar function, you can actually give it reddish kind of thing, yellowish kind of thing. The range you can colors you can choose, but that is not the problem. So you can see the fine uniform mixture because this is a uniform random number basically. Okay. Now I wanted to see this. What is this Gaussian random number looks like? RANDN, which I think the n is for normal, Gaussian or normal. So in that normal distribution, so I think the mu is 0. And
I'm a little bit confused because you are creating two-dimensional arrays.
It is two-dimensional. Now it is not three-dimensional.
Different colors. How the other channels are being created?
Other channel. I need only one channel.
You are creating two-dimensional arrays. Usually,
this
three-dimensional.
See, I am not mixing colors. I am not mixing colors and not creating an image.
You're doing a two-dimensional array.
Only 2D arrays. Only 2D arrays.
Three-dimensional arrays, isn't it?
Earlier it was 3 2D arrays.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the 3 2D arrays was mixed and created the image. Now I want one array only, one plane. So I don't want that because I am not only testing the random numbers in this method, image processing method just. Okay.
But
nothing
how
else.
Colors are being produced?
No, this one will not produce colors. These are grayscale.
No, see the color bar, different colors are produced.
Yeah.
So that's basically just two colors being mixed, nothing else. Two colors, right?
So
straightforward.
See, this is the variation of the color it is showing from 0 to 1. It is, you can actually vary that. I mean, I think one green channel or red channel or white or some channel or blue channel, it is taking from one channel. That's it. And there are variations. I think that is it is showing. I have to check it again. I think that is it showing. I don't need to mix colors, and then I don't need to create the image here. I just want to test random number. That's it. So for that, my two-dimensional arrays, because your gray scale I've shown, this Ananda was also telling, the gray scale, you need only two-dimensional array. But that is because that is one plane only. And for colored image, you need three.
No, it is not treating the grayscale image. It is treating something different. It is not grayscale image. Not treating it as a grayscale.
You can treat this as a grayscale image. Grayscale image means it is not zero. I mean, it's not black and white. It is taking some range of colors. But
okay, can I just
channel or blue channel or
okay, this is really not a grayscale image. It says this is really an image with what is called scalar data, and the values are mapped to colors using the color map.
Yeah, I mean you can give
normalization color map. It can actually get different colors.
Actually, you can think of the density or something.
Color map, right?
Because you're using a color map.
Okay.
Because you're using a color map, and color map actually can use the various options,
right?
Which of course has not been specified here. They're just using the default. You can actually
I know the
map it to
confusion.
different color sets.
Arunavada,
you can set a maximum and minimum amount of different colors and so on. Everything.
I can understand your confusion. The confusion is that since it is two-dimensional, this is a two-dimensional array, 1000 by 1000. It should be gray.
It is using a color map. The default, it is using the default color map, which you can change perhaps.
Yeah, of course you can change that. You can change that. You can set your own color map.
You
can set your own minimum and maximum amount of colors to be mixed. Everything.
Arunavada, when you plot gray in grayscale, this is black and white. There will be the continuous variations of the density of black. It is basically density, and density you color. That's it. You have a continuous variation of black. That means black, lesser black, like that, right? So you have a black and white, but there is a continuous variation of black and white. Black, but the density is more or less. That depends on the number between 0 to 1.
There is a parameter CMAP, which if you set to gray, is going to give you proper grayscale.
I'm showing it.
That will give you the actual grayscale.
Actual grayscale. I mean, the grayscale the name should be written quote unquote here because it's not actual gray, but in a sense, technically it is gray because I call gray because if your the NumPy array is two-dimensional, that's it. To me, it is gray.
Yeah,
but you colored
and
it,
actually use
density you
actually
colored
display
it.
gray, proper gray by just choosing the proper color maps.
Right,
The CMap equal to gray.
Right. But somehow here the CMap is not working. I don't know why. I mean, I'll try again. So I tried it to convert it completely black and white kind of thing, but it is not working here in this case. Some bug is something is there. Okay. Anyway, so here it is. You saw the random number and complete random, pure random. What I wanted to show is that I will compare with the normal distribution. It is RAND-N. RAND-N is your normal distribution. So the same thing, 1000 by 1000 array I'm creating. Basically, what I want to emphasize is that you have created a two-dimensional array, right? So let's see what. Run it, and you see this. Remember the color difference. You see the color difference. Here, the 0 is here, right? Here is your 0. On the scale, this is the yellowish side, and this is the violet side. And the see the basically the normal distribution is the peak at the middle. So given this, so the this color, this greenish kind of color will come more and more, right? So the entire picture is a greenish like thing. So this shows me, this picture shows me this is basically normal distribution. This is basically these things. You see again, you see this again, again this picture. This picture is like this. This mixture of all kinds of colors. Colors means, in a sense, you have to understand in a density basically. And this is this normal distribution. And also there is another interesting distribution. It's called Pareto distributions. Many people have not probably have not heard about this, but people who have done in some kind of distribution, like wealth distribution. The wealth distribution of any country or a community or something, that is not a normal distribution. Wealth distribution is very, very skewed. And you all know that this distribution is a very peculiar, this is called Pareto distribution. Pareto distribution is hundreds of years, I said, of 100 years old, more than 100 years. Pareto was the man who was at the same place around in Italy, but closer to Boltzmann, the famous physicist. So anyway, so Pareto distribution is the long tail distribution, and that means it's very, very skewed. And it only tells, I cannot show you the distribution at the moment, but later I'll show you. But the moment, what it tells about is that the Pareto distribution, there's a peak at one side. Say if you imagine the graph, peak is on the left side, and there is a long tail, and the x-axis is your wealth. So the lower your wealth is, your closer to the origin. So there will be many people who will have low income or low wealth, and there will be on the right side on the graph, there is the tail goes and goes and goes, falls like a power law, and the wealth of only very few will be huge. So there will be very many higher wealth side. When it's x-axis high means wealth, x-axis wealth or income. So the income or wealth distribution is very, very high, huge high for the handful of people like Ambani, Adani, and all Tata, Birla, and all these people. They are super rich, and the other people, common people, the like us and the lower middle class, all those are on the left side of the curve. So the curve, and we are very many in numbers. So the curve is basically very skewed. And if you want to see this, you want to run. So here you see the here is the low income group is here. This what is called, color is called violet, or I call it violet. It's something some other name is there, whatever. See, violet. Let's call it violet. And these people, this higher income group is there. If you scale our income or wealth distribution of all the people in India between 0 to 1, we are towards 0. Below poverty is people are closer to 0. We are probably 0.2, 0.3 something, and 1 point scale. And the other Ambani, Adani people are closer to 1. So those people are here. You see less of yellow here, but they hold all the wealth. And these people density is so. So this is the from the color bar you can see, understand This is a very skewed distribution, and this is a Pareto distribution. So it's a fancy thing for the beginner and for the students to understand check a distribution pictorially. What is the kind of distribution? Okay, so now I can corrupt the image. Actually, the image, the leopard image was this. I took one channel. This is the red channel, probably. And on top of it is the first 0th row, 0th entry. And beforehand, I copied this image. It's a deep copy, right? img.copy function. With this, I kept the old image, and the new image I will actually manipulate. So how I manipulate? img was the image, : 0. This channel I will, oh, this is of no use. I just wanted to show it. I just for this show it well. And I actually run this. And this is, I take two channels, 0th channel and one channel. That means red and green. And I completely change them and completely put all those zeros. See, 2267 by 1511, 2267 by 1511. And you know the NP dot zeros, you have seen it yesterday also. That means it will create a zero of this array. Zero of this array. I actually intentionally by hand putting all these numbers instead of all these fractional numbers. I actually put all these zeros. Now check, since I've run this, I check this is your image, old image, and this is your new image. And you write equal to. What does it give? It gives you a comparison array in terms of the Boolean true and false. You see true, all are true, but you'll soon see there will be all true. Okay, how can it be true? Not true. It should not be true. This will be actually, let's see. All right. And write this, there should be false. There are inside false. Let's see, plot the figures on two sides. There maybe the in between the arrays will be there. Actually, this one channel will be false. One channel should be false. Two channels will be false. Why it is not showing? I'm actually thinking of this. Let me check whether I have done it right or not. Okay, I think I have done it right. I checked it. It was showing that time the two columns would be false and the one column will be true, because I have changed actually two columns. But why it is not showing? It is strange. Can you someone tell me what it is? Okay, let's see. Let's see the plot. I wanted to plot the two figures in the subplot. 1, 2, 1. That means I want to create 1 by 2 this array. I mean the position 1 by 2, and this 1th position 1, and this 2th position another figure, and fig dot add underscore subplot. I can do that. And first I plot image underscore old, and in the next graph I plot image, the new image, because the new image is actually manipulated image. Let's see. I run that. Oh, no, it is something I have done, some mistakes. I have done something. I mean, let me go to kernel, clear all those, because I have done something wrong somewhere. Okay, let's again do run, and then run image. Then I come. I did not don't need these things. I don't need these things. I copy this, and then I see this. Yeah, now you see there was something wrong. So two columns, false, because I have changed everything them. So all the entries I have put 0, and then the next column is true, right? I'll take another 5 minutes, I'll complete. And then I run. I just wanted to show a demo where I think it has created. Yeah, Kishore will kill me because this is his image, and this is what is left. The blue is left. So this is the manipulation at best I could do. Okay, so this is the thing. And next, very little I have to talk about. more manipulations. You can actually, I would show them. I won't show them. Oh, one thing I want to comment here. I asked if, from a photographer friend to send me a black and white image. So he has a digital full frame camera like me, but I usually do not take black and white pictures. What I do is that I take a colored picture, and then coming to the software editing software, I convert it to black and white. But in the camera itself, you can make it adjust the switches, and you can make it monochrome, and then you take your picture. So someone told me, some for these photographers, that this is something different in the camera, because it is actually, this is the real black and white. I did not know this, but today I can show you this. So this is another image. It's a black and white image. Let's see what is the black and white image. So this is one black and white image. So he demanded that this is something different. But when I see that the shape of this image, this is by its 3. That means it is actually not black and white in a sense. It is not a grayscale. This is basically a colored image itself. It reduces the other channels. So, or some way it converted in black and white, but the 3 channels remain. So, in a sense, I wanted to ask, put something on this debate, that it is actually not a black and white image, whatever you demand. Okay, and then Arunabhoda sent me some file last night to show me PIL in basic Python, picture image, what is called PIL, picture image library or something, whatever.
It's Python imaging library.
For Python, P is always for Python imaging library, right? Okay, so I'm not going into that, but because I wanted to stick to Matplotlib. But since we won't have much time again to show, you just show that, see that inside this basic Python, this is here also. If you do not have Matplotlib at the moment, you can also do that. So from PIL, this module, you import capital I image. So this, and you open this with this, you use another function open, and then the usual path name and this thing, you run it, I wanted to convert is inside that there is a keyword CMap equal to gray. I wanted to convert it in gray, but I saw this did not work. I don't know. I have to explore. Okay, forget that. And then there are other things. You have a thumbnail. Thumbnail is another function. You can fix your size of thumbnail. Often you want to use in your product or something like that. And capital image. And one kind of attribute is anti-alias, and you do this, and you change that image into thumbnail, and then you plot plt.imshow image. If you run that, it will show you something like this. Okay. Also there is another keyword argument called interpolation inside that imshow. That is Matplotlib's thing only, and you can give it some keyword nearest. You will figure out what, and you can understand the nearest pixels only. I think it takes, or whatever. It will show you something like that. Okay, the leopard becomes like this. If you have interpolation bicubic, it shows like this. You will not like this, and like that. So I will not actually go further. I will stop here. You can actually go to a very fantastic basics of image formation. You go to, suppose you have a width of something and height of something, you fix, and these you fix np.zeros and height and width and etc., and the data type is np.unit8. You do it, create the data, then you use this from PIL import image, and you form an array with this data. You do this, and you see the image. You see a black image because you have not put anything, just to for play around. You see how image is formed because all the values are zeros. Next, you do this, import numpy as np, from PIL import image, and then you create one array np.zeros, 100 by 200, and the three channels you create, and your data type you fix. Then you write array, inside that colon, comma, then colon 100. You see what it is, and you give the three numbers, 255, 0, 0, three colors, and the red side, left side, and you also do this, and also you can do this, and you also you can do this, and then you form array with the form array. You can form the array, you can save the array in something, and you check the array, you run these, you see you have created two boxes of two colors. The one is red on the left side, and then is blue right side. I will not go in very detail, and the only thing I will say, just 1-2 minutes, RGB image, I told you, red, green, blue, and A for manipulating this opaqueness or the transparency. So these images will be something by something. Here it will be 4 instead of 3. Okay, and you create this red left side, blue right side, and now on the pixels you vary with the different things. You take X in range some for loop, take Y in range in some for loop, and then array you manipulate Y comma X, and then you give 3, and you give X, etc., etc. Form the array. It's not very necessary to understand everything, but just fun. You will do it yourself, run it, and you run it. So you create an image where the pixels density varies continuously with this along the array we have given. We can now form a image, blurred image, whatever image, any kind of thing you can do. The fundamental thing is that whatever you are doing so far, we had been doing with NumPy array. Whatever image or whatever it is, you have the NumPy array at your hand. You can manipulate, you can do anything you want. That is the end of my story. Thank you.
Vijitda, there is a question that color image can be converted to a grayscale image by averaging RGB values. Is it possible?
I have not tried it. If it is possible, I think from common sense I can tell you. I have not tried it. I wanted to.
It is possible, but the way human beings see color, that has to be taken into account. Different colors are not perceived with equal intensity.
Yes,
it is done.
The prescription of combining the colors. If you do that, I mean, you have 3 arrays. You can combine them by putting the proper way.
Yeah, you can do all kinds of manipulations with them.
Yeah,
and get various different looking results. What will look like good, it depends on a lot on the way we perceive color. That's a entirely different ballgame.
I am working on that thing. I mean, how I can convert the leopard into a complete good black and white leopard picture by manipulating 3 arrays. I know, I mean, what can be, but it's not coming all right. But Kishore, I promise I can do it. I can send that to you. What you can do it in 1 minute in your Photoshop. I'll try with NumPy array. That's quite fun. But true grayscale image is 2 by 2. I mean, it's a 2-dimensional NumPy array. That's what. But what I understand, I asked you in the morning to send one black and white image, but you said that you don't do that. And also other people who took in their camera, and this camera also does the same thing. It actually basically converts the 3 channels into, I mean, not 2-dimensional array. It actually takes 3-dimensional arrays only.
No, they are actually RGB cameras. They can take all
RGB cameras. It's not that they are actually taking 2 channels.
They actually do exactly internally by software the kind of thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's really not the camera, it's the software inside the camera.
Inside the camera, of course. It is a software.
So frankly, most photographers think that they're doing something entirely different.
Yeah.
So how to rotate the image? If you take transpose of the array, it will not rotate exactly. But you can rotate. Just figure out how to rotate. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah.
I mean, it's actually pretty straightforward. Transposition will not exactly do rotation. You can even try. It's quite fun to see what happens. Actually, it's quite fun to see what happens when you do various mathematical operations on the array and see That way you can visualize mathematical operations very nicely.
I have not checked that. I mean, the 2D array, if I transpose this, whether the image will rotate or not.
The image will not rotate.
It will not rotate.
You can of course
take the values actually. I mean, it doesn't care actually. I mean, where is what? I mean, every channel is.
No, it does. Of course, your transpose is going to be flipped along the diagonal. That's not the same thing as rotating.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
You need a slightly different calculation to do that. The calculation is straightforward. You can figure out what to do. Vijita, actually, I think you missed out contour maps from survey data when you were talking of.
No, I'll do it on Monday because I have to introduce pandas then. Because
GeoPandas. You're going to use GeoPandas, right?
No, not GeoPandas. Only pandas only. On one pandas.
Okay, you're going to only use pandas. Okay.
Only pandas. Huh? Because otherwise I cannot do that.
Normally that kind of data manipulation requires.
Yes. Yeah, it's a tedious job actually to make it these Z these coordinate into this. Okay, to form this actual grid with Z and from the XYZ data, it is very difficult otherwise by doing it by hand. So pandas, one function does it very well. So I'll do that on Monday. Quickly, I'll do that. Okay. So we can now stop, right? Or if there is no.
Yes.
We can give a break.
Actually, we should thank Abhijit for this beautiful demonstration of image processing and map plotting. And we learned about how to destroy a beautiful image also. Thanks to.
Don't kill me. No, I promise I will do it.
Just try using various mathematical functions on this and see what happens.
Yes. That's a very, very fascinating thing actually. I mean,
traumatic for the photographer, but then you.
Yeah. So
anyway, convolutional neural networks actually work on this principle. They essentially apply mathematical functions on different parts of a picture to check for edges, faces, and other things.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not easy. It's not easy, but you can actually play around with this. I mean, apart from instead of manipulating your Photoshop, you can actually manipulate your NumPy array, and 1-2 places you can change some numbers, whether the leopard can be, the contrast can be better or something like that. I think it needs lots of practice.
Lots of scopes, and you have real data at your hand.
I have real data because of these images. Yes. We have real data at our hand. So the most fascinating thing is that I have the NumPy array at my hand. So that is in my grip. I know what I can do. I can resize, I can change, I can insert data, I can take the one part, etc. I can apply some function, etc. So that is very fascinating thing. We can any child can play with these images.
On the other hand, if you say want to propose an enhancement algorithm, image enhancement algorithm, you can do that here. You get the data, you do all sorts of calculation with the array, and prepare a new image and see whether your enhancement algorithm gives a
exactly.